Hello efendim. Jobba. Yep. Tough. Jobba samala fiyo mala bala moyon. Says who Lola. Says Ota. Oh, no. Well. Manana manana. Jeremy Fonya Samana. Yeah.
But you won't see anything inside of it. And at that point, we not only have a build hack in and of itself, but we also have building blocks for a whole bunch more. Here's the other examples for this post. Use this to make on and off lamps with the glowing and regular item frame variants. Or combine it with signs and line the outside of our potted plants like this to have great looking planters inside your garden. And if you want to use pressure plates inside of your dining hall, then by lining it like this, we now have borders to those plates to make them look a lot more like plates instead of redstone. And if you're wondering the way to get a transparent map, they also give us the details in the comments. All you gotta do is fly to the ends void, and then place a layer of glass down at the Y level 2. At that point, that's all the blocks that you need to make.
Manana kike manana the code managike na manakode the code the nyame molon
Most of the time, I'm not trying to have it look like Avatar inside of my world.
polol
Say like that.
molon.
Let's see this example by Who Mike Hidden, where we use the set block command to give us the top of the pitcher plant on top of what we're using.
Manana over manana the manana manana the manana the manana
Grit Care ingår antistress, skyddar katter från stress. Grit Care, förebyggd med näring.
Like manana like manana like manana.
On top of what we're using here of a bamboo stalk. And it blends together a lot nicer to look like some kind of vibrant plant that grows in your riverside. And while it's unfortunate that this uses commands to make it work, the fact that it actually gives us a use to one of the few features that was added into the sniffer makes me like it a lot more. With the Jitterbug name tag, we can take a breeze, flip it upside down, and then use its particle trail to give an extra amount of detail to any kind of thing that we want to appear on the surface. In this example, we have a candle that's outlined by the breeze's
Manana like manana like
just fits in the center of this, right? And getting a breeze to stand still at all sounds tough enough. But if you're able to go through the effort of doing that, this example proves that it's more than worth it. With the new 1.21 update, you think of the crafted block as redstone, but
manana like manana.
Since the fact that the crafted block is directional means that we're able to rotate
Manana like banana. Like the banana, manana called the banana and a banana. Manana, banana, calico, manana. Manaka, 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 manana, calico.
just as a detail here.
Naya.
Now, when we talk about making a dirt house in Minecraft, you're usually picturing your first night. Something that's just meant to get you by so that you don't die to the creepers and zombies outside. But as the years have gone by and Mojang's added new dirt blocks and updates, you actually see that it could be useful to use inside of your roof. And now, by using something...
Manana, manana, manana,
This house example is really nice. The greens of the moss really break up the kind of grays that we got going on here. Just don't expect it to give you now, one of the things you use to make the mace is the heavy core, which is a unique crafting item because we're able to place it down like a player head in our world. But the breeze rod, not as much. Or at least it wouldn't be unless we did something like this. Since by having a light blue stained glass right underneath our heavy core, for the new update. While we still don't have any copper fence blocks to play around with, what we do have, as Sad Milkman shows off, is the ability to set copper grates like this, and then when placed in such a way, it looks as if we have copper fence that's linking between these copper pillars. And you should be good. You can even add in some copper lightning rods on top of this, and ensure that the lightning so copper's not going to oxidize. The cauldrons and awkward block. I think basically the channel at this point serves as a resume for why not to hire the Cauldron at this point.
Yeah.
While it might not always be good for its actual uses,
Yeah.
the way that user Theo tries put it together in this post is something funny at least.
Man, the common,
Flipped up like this,
one like a common on
hole in the sky.
one the
Not necessarily. I think
corner.
its cuteness is more in its quirkiness. But does it give us a use for a cauldron? Also true. And for that, I'm always grateful. Using endstone in a build is already a bold move. I mean, let's face it, there's some things that are better left in the end. But this user shows us that there's actually a pretty good consider if I had the stuff on hand, which is way more than I was doing otherwise. Really, I would have just thrown this off the cliff into the void, so I think this is a better fit for it. The common build hack in the past was using all and today we'll see that by switching out the spruce trap doors for one variety, we no longer have a trap, we instead have a crate for our pets. And come on, with all the new wolves, sit them down inside they're just gonna tell I also don't like to be trapped in small spaces. You know those random water pits and tunnels that tend to generate inside of your plains bio? Yeah, when you zoom out, they're not exactly the prettiest. Looks more like zits on a face. So to clean you up and look better before prom. Really be a pain. Now you've got a water feature to build around and the rest of the space to actually use. Showing what's ugly in small doses actually looks quite nice as you mix it all together. Netherbrick fences and regular fences do not connect. Fences and netherbrick fences like so, we're essentially creating which is a nice touch when the alternative to get a method like this would be to use a debug stick and individually toggle off all of these fences. Do it this way. And then next to granite and bricks, it actually pairs quite nicely. But after all, they're all warm tones. So when you alternate it just right, it's Unfortunately, it's impossible for us to stack up outside. When you look at a pattern like this, it might make you want to reconsider. Since by alternating between a heavy core, a wall, and another heavy core, outside of your walls. And using this to texture the outside of a building would look particularly cool. Just also costs a whole lot of heavy cores, so maybe save this one for the creative world. But the skeleton skulls are usually just good for one thing, spawning the world. But if you manage to have just right, we can follow this and I think that looks quite nice. Them and bring along some soul as long as you got the right powder shit to be Respawn anchors have such a dark texture that they might be easy to forget they're actually a light source. But as this post shows off, who would talk about these respawn anchors to a ceiling made of crying obsidian? And sure enough, we've got ourselves a hidden light source in your ceiling. Just make sure that none of your friends are coming through and adding too many glowstone inside. Or if they are, just build this inside of the nether where it's not gonna explode. We don't need your ceiling lights trying to kill you. What's the equivalent of making a stew? Take all the cheaper cuts of meat, mix it together, and then as a sum of its parts, you get something a lot more special. And so we'll strip dripstone and raw iron might not look great by themselves. Add it into a powder like this, it really sticks out. And the same can be said for all the other blocks they have here. I mean, just take any of these for inspiration, and you can have something pretty special for your next build. But with the amount of raw ore blocks that they're using here, you're also going to have just fantastic. And what I personally love to see is people use the paint as some form of graffiti on the sides of their walls. And well, this was originally built before the new paintings were even teased for Minecraft. I think with all the new ones that we got to play around with, I think covering up paintings too. Crossing over with this figure in the painting. Even though I'm familiar with the
Yeah.
original, and I have been for years, if I didn't look too close,
Yeah,
I'd
man,
think it's something
nah,
entirely different.
man,
That's the kind of ingenuity I always love to see with every
nah,
new update. Old Netherrack is a texture that's famous for being one of the ugliest that's ever
Oh.
graced the game. Or disgraced the game? I don't know. It's not a pretty sight. And well, we've talked about that our fair share. I mean, literally look at this thumbnail and see that we've talked about it. I think what this user's done here is actually put the old Netherrack texture into good use. Which I know, there's a lot for me to say. But what Iron Lining does here by using old roof tiling, I think is particularly pretty. And now,
Yeah, banana, but yeah, they go what?
actual different layers of depth to tiling that's done in the roof. And it really doesn't look the same when you try this with
Yeah.
new textures. So if you're stuck with
Yeah, banana, the good, the coffee, banana, the common,
better for itself than its middle child status suggests. And if you look at examples where it's mixed in with spruce logs and wood, the reddish hues of the granite actually make it look really nice as a complementary stone block. And so if you use it lower down in your build and use it as a foundation, I think you get something really quality here. And what's even more impressive is that this isn't the
banana, the common, banana, the common, the common, banana, we call the banana, the banana, the balls of the air, banana,
radiant into our pillars. I mean, if you ask me,
Yeah.
this is the best advertisement for the stone cutter I've seen. And so if you're already going to get plenty of these blocks,
banana, banana, cola, the cola, banana.
building world. And speaking as someone who loves to use dark gray inside of my palette, I plan to tuck these anywhere that I can.
Banana, banana, the cola, banana, the cola,
Make it look as if they're broken
Yes,
pillars inside
bye.
an ancient temple.
Yoba, banana,
One
job.
of your Minecraft builds catching on fire,
Papa,
usually think
banana.
of the end of the world. I mean, that's all of your work
Yeah,
literally going up
banana.
in smoke. But here,
So.
that's the point, and it is your hard work. And I think the idea of using
Yeah.
dead coral and dead bushes is
Banana, water, moloke, nana. Mana kusa ke, mana bera. What's the new year?
Forget having a particle system in Minecraft. This user literally built it, and it looks better than what I could dream of. And you don't have to worry about disabling fire tick for this one. So there's a couple of benefits to that. Well, there's definitely some pretty variations of basalt. The regular block by itself is something to be desired.
Again, nana, go, man, demo.